So do you ever find yourself repeating the same chord progressions over and over, or not really knowing how to break out of the habits, those chords that you always find yourself going to? This video is for you. I've put together 3 of my absolute favorite harmony exercises that sound gorgeous, and if you simply play along and actually practice these in some different keys, it's going to completely open up your harmony, give you much more freedom when it comes to chords, voicings, and most importantly, where you actually go in your chord progressions. All right, so here's exercise number 1. Ready? Let me show that to you one more time. And this time I'm going to add a little bit of rhythm just to show you how musical it can be. All right, so what is this exercise doing for you? Obviously, I'm going to slow it down and show it to you a little bit more in depth, but here's what we are learning here. So the shape we have is 1, 6, 7, 3. So we actually have a D flat major 13 sound. Now just to explain that, you might think, well, why isn't it a 6, right? That B flat is 6 notes up from D flat. Well, the reason is because it's only a 6 if it replaces the 7, which is C. But in this chord, we're actually having the 7 in as well. So if we built the chord from bottom to top, we'd have 1, 3, 5, 7, and then we could add 9, sharp 11 optional, we're not doing it here, but then 13, right? So that's kind of the chord, but then we arrange it and it sounds really nice in this voicing. Now, a really important skill with harmony and breaking out of your habits is to really be able to move a shape around. And in this case, we're working on some diatonic movement. This is something I've talked about a ton on my channel, but basically if we have a D flat major scale, then every single note in this shape is going to move to the next note in the D flat major scale. So if we move it diatonically, that's a great way to practice mastering this shape. However, because I want to actually give you some really interesting material here, we're going to add a little bit more magic by shifting away from just the D flat diatonic movement or diatonic planing. So far, this is purely diatonic, but now check this out here. We're going to take this sus2 shape, which is a really important kind of butter shape for just getting magical passing chords and transitions in your harmony and your progressions. And we're going to do E flat sus2 over G, shift that to D flat sus2 over F, to B sus2 over D sharp, down to B flat sus2 over D. So diatonic. Now we're taking this shape and moving it intervallically. I'm just doing some arpeggiation of this chord. Give these really pretty sounds. And we can make it more musical by adding rhythm. All right, so that is exercise 1, taking some diatonic planing, but then shifting away and using the sus2 chord to get some beautiful intervallic motion. Now, if you actually practice this in all keys, it's going to give you mastery of both diatonic and intervallic use of these shapes. And it's really going to help you take these shapes and use them as passing chords as you move forward into other chord progressions. Now, if you want this exercise with a video example, MIDI, and audio for production and learning, I actually have this and 34 other exercises just like this written out in all keys for you in a brand new package put together that I am calling Harmony Magic. You can check out the link in the description. Highly recommend you check it out and learn more about it at least. These exercises are things that I originally designed for myself to really help me break out of my harmony and chord habits. And I feel so much more freedom using these. Obviously, despite the word magic being in the name, I'm not saying this is a magic fix to all your voicing and harmony problems, but I can guarantee you this. If you're willing to put a little work in, download the PDF, and actually practice these exercises in some different keys, you are completely going to open up your harmonic freedom and ability. That is literally what these are designed for. So it is actually really simple. Not saying it's easy, but it's simple. Click the link in the description, download the exercises, practice, and you will definitely feel improvement. So this second exercise, it's really simple. It's just 4 chords, but using these diminished voicings as passing chords in this way with the melodies moving against each other and the right hand melody versus the left hand bass, this is a beautiful little progression that you should really learn in all keys. It's just so useful. So we start with E flat 13, but then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go to D diminished. And again, that is the 2 hands opposing. Those are the melodies we get. So this is really pretty. Great voice leading. If you see these small movements. And where are we actually traveling to in this progression, right? Every chord progression is a journey. We start somewhere and we get somewhere. And good voice leading and good melodic motion in both the right hand and the bass line is really important, key to a strong progression. So this exercise is giving you these diminished passing chords in this specific pattern. And I find it so useful. It's really given me so much material to work with when it comes to actually moving through melodies in this really nicely voice-led way. So really it's kind of funny. We're really just doing kind of 5 to 1, right? That's kind of the explanation here. E flat 13 to A flat major. But we're also doing a really important principle. First of all, we're using, of course, the passing chords. But the principle here that I love is, check it out, our A flat major, our 1, we don't have to land with the 1 in the bass. Instead, we're actually landing with the 3 in the bass. So it's actually in first inversion. And if you want to just learn that little arpeggio, that's kind of fun. E flat F, E flat C. That's the first shape, and I'm doing 3, 5, 3, 1. Then we're going to do 3, 5, 3, 1 again, and we're going to do A flat, C, A flat, F. And we're just going to repeat that. Super quick. If you're finding these exercises useful, please smash that like button. It really helps me and the channel out. All right, back to it. All right, let's look at our third and final exercise for this video. So again, this was one that I actually designed for myself because I would hear all this beautiful inner motion being played, actually mainly by Bill Evans. That's partly who inspired this exercise specifically. And it just felt like there were always these beautiful movements happening inside the voicings, in between the top melody and the bass note. And I found that a great way to practice this was actually just to essentially create movements, exercises, that you could repeat and try in different keys and actually work on them. And so I created this. I think it sounds really beautiful. And it's essentially a 2-5-1, but with all this gorgeous inner motion. So let's take a look at it really quick. Let's see what's actually happening. So first of all, we have these opposing lines. It's just B flat minor here. But the line continues, right? And then here we go. And then what we start to do is fill in some of the voicings. And this voicing, you can voice in some different ways. You could do a full-on cluster that's really beautiful, right? Or you could have it be a little bit more just open. It's still a closed root position voicing. I like to put the cluster, just get it all in there. You can do the same thing with the E flat. Really pretty movement. And then here, this is a somewhat classic movement. You can also do, so that's a different variation. This is just purely chromatic. But this exercise does it a little differently. We get this, I like that contrary motion. And I like doing these octaves up at the end. And that's such a pretty harmonic movement. Again, try this in some different keys. And of course, don't forget, if you want to actually learn these exercises in all keys, check out the new Harmony Magic package. Link is in the description. It's literally less than $1 per exercise right now for the opening sale. And you can get that and work on all 35 exercises that are really gonna help improve your playing. It comes with video examples, MIDI, and audio, so it can be used for both learning and production sampling purposes. I worked really hard on it, and these are exercises that I've been designing for a really long time. So I really think you're gonna enjoy it and get a lot out of it. Also, it's obviously an amazing way to support myself and the channel, so I really, really appreciate you even just taking the time to check it out and see if it might be a good investment for you. All right, thank you so much for being here. If you're new, please click subscribe and click like to help this video out, and I'll see you in the next video.